Hey guys, it's Tyler, and I'm gonna be starting a new series where I come up with the stupidest, yet somehow most logical theories. The very first theory I came up with is on the origin of devil fruits and why they work the way that they do. Firstly, how they're created. The only solid piece of evidence that we have of devil fruits being created is something to do with lineage factor. Lineage factor works like DNA does in our world, given by the picture that we see when Yonji is telling Sanji about it. This could leave us to reasonably assume that they would act the same. This would also mean that the lineage factor could be messed with using means that we would use in the real world, like CRISPR or radiation, the latter of which can happen naturally just from being exposed to the sun. This means that the changes caused by devil fruits are the same as changes you could get from the sun, but the reason why we don't get random devil fruit powers is because of the atmosphere. But you know what doesn't have an atmosphere? The moon. This means that devil fruits must come from the moon. You know what else comes from the moon? The Lunarians. Which, just looking at their name would strongly imply that they come from the moon. Lunarians. The whole first part of that is Luna, which means moon. This means the origin of devil fruits and the origin of Lunarians have to be the same, which means that there could be an even deeper correlation there. The Lunarians have an ability to adapt to the environment and can create and manipulate fire. These traits relate similarly to the traits that devil fruit powers could give. So because of the exposure to solar radiation, the Lunarians gain special traits. So it just makes sense that certain plants would give those kind of special traits as well. These genetic traits just so happen to focus more on the fruits, which the whole purpose of a fruit is to spread the seed of the tree or the plant. And the devil fruit abilities are the thing that the tree made to get more people to eat them. So, sometime in the distant past, at least 800 years ago, the Lunarians came down to Earth, settled on the Red Line, and they took the plants with them. These plants then spread far and wide throughout the entire world until it ended up replacing almost all regular plant life on the planet. These plants then would start growing devil fruits, which is how they spread across the world. The biggest question after that is how the devil fruits reincarnate, which is where the theory starts getting a bit controversial, which there are two leading branches about. One is that the plants are not actually plants and actually fungi, which mimic the look of plants to spread their spores better. The way that the devil fruit abilities are recycled is that when the devil fruit user dies, the spores are released into the world and trigger some kind of biological response in the other fungi that, as it touches it, to reproduce the kind of fruit that it was. This could also explain why devil fruit users are weak to the ocean and sea stone, because fungi are susceptible to salt water, and sea stone is basically just solidified ocean. The second theory is that all plants have some kind of hive mind that allow them to communicate between each other. These plants then say what fruits work and which ones might not have ever been found, so they wouldn't work, and they spread the seeds better, so they make another fruit. Like after the devil fruit user has died. Both of these theories have very strong ties, and I think they both make sense. The real question is which one is actually right. If I were to have to pick one that was right, I would have to say I'd go with the fungi theory just because it's a bit more delved into, it's a bit more expanded upon. Although there could be a strong possibility for there to be the third option, which I didn't even bring up because it's barely not even there, where the devil fruits are actually Lunarians turned into fruits by the world government because they didn't want the Lunarians messing with their stuff. That's how they defeated them. They turned them into devil fruits. Although that one does not have a very good base and just doesn't even make sense. So that's about it. Just remember that this is entirely satire. This was not serious at all. If any of these come true, first of all, I called it. Second of all, what the fuck are you doing with One Piece, Oda? This is not a good idea. Well, that's about it. Oh, what's that? A belt? No! No, get away! Get away from me! Get away from me! Ah!